Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Intuitive Psychology Podcast. I'm Jill Ritchie, your co-host and co-founder of IP, and I'm joined by Sarah Gregg, my lovely friend.
Hi,
my
friend.
sister from another mister. Here she is in the studio. Sarah, we are talking about changing, right?
Yeah.
So we're kind of titling this one, You've Changed, right? Because it's like, when you go on this journey of personal development, of deeper processing and understanding yourself, it can change you. And we wanted to talk about in ways that we have changed, which has been ultimately, in my opinion, for the better, but it can also mean the loss of certain people and things in our lives. And also what we're here for and what we're not available for anymore. So let's open this conversation up. We're going to keep this one nice and short, right? But we want to get you thinking about not being afraid of change and really embracing that change is honestly the step towards more of your authentic self and more freedom, more expansion, more truth. Okay. So let me just ask you, Sarah, when you've been on this journey for a while now, and I would say a big sort of change that we've gone through, even creating intuitive psychology, has gone another layer even deeper as individuals. How has that changed you, even since sort of for the last couple of years, would you say?
Wow. I mean, I've changed a lot in the last couple of years. I think I have a deeper sense of self. I have, external things like I've stopped drinking. I don't have coffee anymore. Have a very, for the most part, like regulated nervous system that I can't really disrupt in the way that I would have before. Do you know, before it would have been like, oh, I'll just have a glass of wine at the end of the day because I'm super stressed and I just, my body can't do that. It hasn't even been a conscious willpower thing of like, I don't want that. It's like my body just, it can't process some foods and some materials in the same way. And I think it's because it's deeply regulated and back in alignment a little bit. And look, that's personal for me.
Yeah, we don't want to say that if you're still enjoying a glass of wine and certain foods and stuff, we're not saying that you're not aligned.
No, everyone's journey is different and no one is better than the other.
Everyone's level of tolerance is different 100%. As well.
And I think that's a bit is like, I've learned how to trust myself. I've learned a lot about forgiveness. You know, I hadn't spoken to my dad in I think almost 20 years or something. Not far off that. And I now have a relationship with him. So big things have kind of changed in my life in that way. I'm hyper aware of self-sabotage, which I, navigate pretty well sometimes and sometimes not so great. And I think I've got a deeper acceptance that this journey is continual. So I think a lot has changed kind of in the outside world as well as the internal world. I also think though what comes with that, and it probably is a reflection of diet kind of changes, not numbing out, is I need a lot more space and a lot more time than I did before. Before I was, busy, numbing out with busyness basically. Always on the go. And now I'm I really do struggle with that. If I'm kind of do a lot of social stuff, during the week, which is quite rare now, but if I am kind of seeing a lot of people or even meeting with friends, I need to build in recovery time. I need a lot more time, by myself and to myself.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
I resonate a lot with that. I just can't be arsed doing a lot of stuff.
No, I know.
I say this, right? But Sarah's been at my house staying, right? It goes like Piccadilly Circus. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a mum to almost 14-year-old and an 11-year-old who have football, golf, swimming, all the things, right? They're at that age. But someone said to me the other day, I miss that age. Mine are now at nightclubs and all that. And that comes with a different set of worries. And actually, just hearing her say that, it made me really stop and think, okay, listen, I'm not saying I'm not going to complain. I'll still complain about it. But it also made me go, oh, Jill, when they're in 10 years from now, you'll wish you could come back to this moment. And sometimes you just need to hear that one sentence from someone. Anyway, I digress. But I do get more tired now. And I'm also not so fussed about, don't get me wrong, I love going out at points, but I am the one that used to be like out and always first up to do stuff. And now it's like, I'm probably the first to say no now to stuff. I'm quite happy just like doing quite what you would maybe term as boring things, but I just don't find them boring. I just find them like medicine, like really just taking that time, because I do get tired. Again, I guess what's changed for me is my relationships changed massively since doing this work. And actually, thank goodness, because, you know, Daryl is a great partner. He's definitely grown with me and allowed me that space. Again, that's been and it still is always a continual journey. But yeah, I'm probably different, and even some of my friends would maybe say, but I think the real loyal, lovely friends that are there for you and accept you will accept you.
Yeah.
They don't expect you to conform and change to meet their needs. And that's a true friend. Anything else can fall away, and it's been okay with that. Yeah. And I think, you know, I'm still me. I'll still have the crack. I'll still be silly and do crazy things that annoy my partner, like play tricks and just daft stuff. But, you know, I think I was going to say I'm a better person for doing this work. I'm definitely a more aware person.
Yeah.
I'm much more self-aware. I wouldn't say I was better.
Can I challenge that like a little bit?
Hit me with it.
Yeah. I think it's the phrase better maybe that's like tripping you up a little bit, because I think like when you change, and especially having like, you know, we talk a lot, you've also shared this like on previous seasons of the podcast, you know, about communicating your needs and like asking for what you want. Mm-hmm. And I think that does have inevitably a really positive impact on your relationship, the relationship with those around you. Like, so better in that sense, but I completely understand not the elevated sense of I'm better than others.
Yes.
Like, you know.
Yeah, you're right. And I think it is the awareness and also what I've not got a tolerance for. I'm quite happy to say no to events and things like that. If I'm not feeling it, I'll just say no. And I'm not attached to that. I don't think I need to over-explain why I don't want to go on a night out. I mean, some of my girlfriends, they'll go away on holidays and I would have always gone to them, but I will literally tune into myself and I'm like, have I got the capacity to do it? And if it's a no, I'm happy to say no. And I'm all right with that. Like, I feel that's a good thing for me. I definitely do tend to my needs. I think it can be challenging when you're running a household and you've got kids and all these things as well. But I do try my best to prioritise my needs as much as I can, as much as it is acceptable when you're also got other little people to consider as well, you know.
And you know what? It's really lovely, because I think that's another part of me that's definitely changed and is really changing right now, is this like deep acceptance of the multiple parts of myself. Like, I think before, when I was doing this work, you know, I strive for excellence in everything that I do. Like, I've always held myself to like a very high standard, sometimes to the detriment of myself, like sometimes to like levels of perfectionism that I can never meet. And I think whenever I speak and talk in this space, like, it's so important for me to be in integrity. It's so important for me to be the embodiment of the work. It's so important for me, you know, just on a personal level, not to kind of like say one thing and do another. Like, I've got to be in alignment. Like, it's just, it's important for me. It feels like integrity, but sometimes that can mean that I hold myself to like a really high standard. Like, I should be fixed. I should know better. I shouldn't make mistakes. Why am I back in this pattern again? Like, why haven't I learned? And actually what I'm really in this phase and season of right now is like just accepting my humanness. Yeah. And I love that you said like the things that people find like boring. Like, I have fallen in love with the ordinary life, the mundane.
I know.
And I'll be honest, right? Full transparency, that change has had its friction at points, especially last year, because it's like the middle road. You know, I've exited those extremes of the real high highs and the real low lows. Like, I love a walk in nature. Sound but you put me in nature in a wood, and I honestly, that sounds really corny, but I feel the miracle of life. Like I do. I love it. Like my whole soul lights up. Like simple things, like me and my husband went to the beach last weekend, and we've always talked about like barbecuing on the beach, and both of us realized we'd never done it before. So we brought our wee barbecue and we lit it. We had our wee windbreaker, like two in our books. We're like two like 90-year-olds. But we just read on the beach together. We cooked up our burgers, and I was like, this is my idea of heaven. I don't feel like I need to chase anything. And it is presence.
That's presence. Do you know, people hearing you saying that and you're going, I know this sounds, people would give their right arm to do that. Not enough people do that in relationships. They don't. And that's the thing, Sarah, that is the beauty of life, because you can be, there's so many people that are unhappy in relationships that don't get on with their partner at all. And they will listen to you and be like, I want that so much. And so see, the simplicity of that is everything and more. Because all these external things, you can have all the external things, but if you are not happy in your life, when the door is closed at night and you're resting your head on that pillow, or you can't have intimacy or whatever that is, or you can't communicate with your kids, or you feel whatever that is for you, that's so challenging.
Yeah.
Because you're always trying to chase the next thing. But actually, when you're looking out, instead of looking out, you should be looking in, because that is it. When I was in Bali, like I resonate with that. I practice gratitude every day, but there's one thing practicing it, but actually being able to feel it is so different. The wonder of life. The reason you feel so good in nature is because you are nature. We are nature. That you're at home, and because you're not out with the distractions, you're just. Your intention is to connect with the earth, right? And when you actually can allow yourself to connect, it's a felt sense. And for anyone, that is the wonder of life. That is the awe moments, to be able to go, wow. Like, I remember being in Bali just a few months ago and like looking out at the jungle, and I had mostly tears most mornings, not because I was sad, but because I was so grateful for where I was at compared to the last time I was there. And I carried that back with me from Bali of like, wow, I'm so happy with my lot. Like, I'm so happy with everything that I've got. Like, I've got healthy children. We bypass that though. It's like chase the next thing. Like, what about what you've got right now? And that's probably the change, is like actually being able to not just practice gratitude, but feel it and realize that I don't need any more. Like, I'm not saying I don't like nice things, but I've got handbags, designer handbags and shoes coming out my ears from when I did buy all that stuff. And see, to be honest, I didn't think I was doing it to fill a void. It was just like, oh, I've got the money, I'll do it, I'll buy it. There wasn't that, oh, I need to fill a void. No, definitely not intentionally. But they kind of don't matter to me now, because I'm kind of like, what matters is my kids want to spend time with, which can I just say a lot of the time they're like, go away, mum, they're at that age, right? But it's like, that means the world to me when they say, mum, can we do this? Can we do that? That's the things that light me up more than anything.
It is. It's the small things, like, for sure. And I'm definitely really like, and thank you for that. Like, I'm definitely kind of like leaning in to all of that, and I'm noticing that I'm just naturally enjoying it, and I'm also feeling more confident, to like more safe just to be myself, like just to express and to say, this is what I like, this is what I don't, and like no real, without judgment, like of myself or about others. Like I'm not going to preach to anybody. If you enjoy a glass of wine, if you enjoy 3 glasses of wine or a boozy brunch, like whatever it is for you, like honestly, there's no judgment. Like, it's just, if it feels good for you and it's your way, I can't question that. But also, if you're noticing that others are changing around you, or if you if you're engaging in behaviors, whether it's pleasing, whether it's like, you know, alcohol socializing related, whether it's avoiding conversations, if it's creating resistance in you, then like lean in, like don't be afraid of change. Like don't be afraid of change. Like a lot of times I've fought against the change because I've feared that I would lose a sense of connection. I would lose a sense of belonging. What would people think of me? How would they judge me? All of that circulating in my head. And actually, it's never really as bad as you think. I'll be honest, do you lose friendships? Yeah, I've lost some friends along the way for sure. Or friendships that, you know, no big conflict, but they've just kind of like drifted to the wayside. And that has been hard. Like I've had to kind of grieve that kind of personally. And, you know, I probably have made links between, is that because I'm different? You know, like, is it because I've kind of changed in some way? Do they not like the person that I am now? And that's okay too. Like that's okay too, because ultimately there's just a deep sense of peace.
But you need to like who you are.
Yeah, and I do.
That's the main thing. And anyone else listening to this, you need to like the person that you see staring back at you in the mirror. And if you don't, like, how can you start to? And I mean, avoiding nothing. And I get it, like sometimes I've said this in another episode, like for 1 week of the month when I'm hormonal, I don't want to have deep conversations. I don't want to have difficult conversations. I don't want to have conflict. I'm not
don't have conversations. I don't even want a conversation.
I'm not here for it. But you know what? Fine.
Yeah.
Because you know, 99% of the time I'm doing my best.
And I think that's it. Do you know what? We are all doing our best in life. And God, can we not just give each other a break?
I know.
And ourselves a break?
Stop the madness.
Let's just stop the madness for a minute. Like everyone is trying their best regardless of, you know, the friends that are drifting away from you because you've changed. Like I know that they're trying their best.
They can't meet you. Some people can't meet you where you're at.
And some friends just come in for different chapters and they serve a role and it's a beautiful memory and it doesn't have to be forever. And you're allowed to change. Like give yourself permission to change.
Yeah.
Like it's not a destination. It's just a continual cycle.
And the more you connect to you, the less attached you become to letting these things go and letting them pass. So, you know, embrace change. Know that it is your pathway to authenticity, to freedom, to connection, true connection to self. And then you can emulate that onto other people and the right people will come to you. But your outside world is a direct reflection of your inner world. So what is your inner world crying out for right now? And go there and explore that. Amazing.
And I'll leave you with this bit just because I only did this exercise last week and it was really powerful, where I sat down and I wrote what had changed for me in the past 2 years, because I've always gone deep with my work, but the past 2 years have been levels and layers a lot deeper, like in the trenches of it. And I sat and I just took that opportunity to reflect on how much has changed. So if you've been doing a lot of work and if you feel like, oh, I'm not there yet and you're being hard on yourself, this is an invitation. Just take a moment just to write down how much has changed in your external world, how you feel about yourself, because I bet you it's a lot more than you give yourself credit for.
Love that. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, reach out if you need us. All the links that you need are in the show notes and we'll see you in the next episode.